Okay, so welcome to, we need to figure out what to say, Annalisa, because we're combining calls now. So welcome to our combined team call for July 5th. Yes, the tribe call. I just want to cover some updates super quick before we have our speaker. Yeah, it's okay. So number one is there's been an update to the Success Club program, which is pretty cool. So you can earn prizes for when you hit Success Club for month 1, month 3, and month 6, which is pretty awesome. So if you want to check out FAQ 2027 for the details of that and to make sure you kind of let your teams know too. I actually just found a graphic, so I'll be posting it in the team page. This is also the Beat Your Best promotion month, meaning that this month you're supposed to try and beat your best month in the last 12 months. And also, if you guys missed it, this is a really, really, really huge thing. But Elizabeth Harkey teamed up with some really incredible leaders to bring live power hours to us every single day, Monday through Friday, with some really, really amazing, successful women in the business. So if you haven't taken advantage of those, check them out and see what times, because some of them are in the morning and some of them are at night. Like some are talking about Facebook, some are about Instagram, but they're super helpful, and you might just hear like 2 tips that are game changing for you. So if you're able to hop on those, make sure you do. And the next thing is that I just want to remind everyone that Lift 4 challenge packs are $10 off right now through July 31st. And our VIP Lift launch group is starting on July 16th. So if you're chatting with people about it, inviting, following up, make sure that they're in that group, because we're going to start prep week next Monday for it. And also, To Be Mindset, they're doing a promotion where if someone wants to do a Lift 4 challenge pack and do To Be Mindset nutrition, say there's someone that's like, I want to do the lift and hit workouts, but I like really struggle with emotional eating, and you think that like combining the two may be great for them. To Be Mindset is on sale for $99 with a Lift 4 challenge pack, which is pretty cool. Super Saturday is this weekend. I have posted about it in the team page like 37 times to make sure that everyone gets registered and gets to an event in their local area. I am going to be speaking on mine. Deep breath. Brad, hopefully this will help me with my nerves about it. But I hope that you will check out one in your local area and make sure you get there. It is so, so important to put skin in the game and get to these events so you can hear everything that's going on. You can hear success stories of coaches. You can meet up with coaches in your local area, but you always gain some fire and momentum from showing up to live events. So, and the last thing is that if you were a June Success Club earner, the podcast with Rachel Hollis is probably going to be amazing, but I just wanted to remind you that that is on July 10th, so make sure that you kind of check your email and be on the lookout so that you don't miss that. And the last thing is this is a really big month, and I know a lot of you are pushing for some big goals right now, but the last day to lock in your diamond, if you are pushing to regain diamond or be a new diamond and hit Success Club to earn your spot to the retreat, that is by July 26th. So that is the last thing, but I'm super excited. Brad Bizjack is hopping on to speak to us tonight. He is absolutely incredible, and we've had him on a few times, but it's been probably like 2 years, right, Brad? But everybody always raves about how Brad is amazing when they hop off the call, so I'm super excited to have him back. But he is a husband, a doggy dad. He is a motivational speaker, an entrepreneur, and he really, I think, will help us all get unstuck and ditch the negative self-talk and improve our mindsets to be able to help us live our best life. So I won't take up any more of your time, Brad, but we're so excited to have you on tonight.
Sweet. Can you guys hear me? I'm testing out this new microphone. I don't know if I'm standing too close to it. Is it good? We're good? All right. I got thumbs up across the board. So thank you guys for having me tonight. I am super pumped to be here. And Dana, thank you so much for the opportunity. I love your team. You guys are awesome. And it's so cool that you and Annalise are doing combined stuff now at the teams. I think that's great. So I don't take this opportunity lightly. And my goal today is just to bring you guys so much value and just to help you really master your mindset and get over any of the negative self-talk that might be getting in the way of incredible things in your business and your life. And I say life too, life and business, because this isn't just about hitting the next rank or hitting Success Club or hitting Diamond or 2-star or 5-star, whatever it is, or any of that stuff. This is about life mostly, right? Because if your life is in order and you have a great mindset, the business kind of takes care of itself, right? So as we go through this stuff, also picture your husband or your wife, picture your kids, picture, the people in your life that mean the most to you on top of the people on your team that you care about. Most of the time, the one little aha moment that you have that transforms your business can also transform your relationships too. So I'm curious, type in the chat box. Let me actually pull up the chat box here. What's a really, really big goal you have? So actually type it in the chat box right now. And I know you're coming out of Summit, so you probably just are on fire right now coming out of that conference. So write down what that big goal you have is. And 2-star by August 31st. I love that. Like write down the big goals that you have coming out of that event right now. I'd love to see a couple more of those. Anybody else? Kelly, 2-star by August 31st. Love it. What else we got? Love it. The Diamond, I love it. That's amazing. Over 6 figures this year, 10-star team by the end of the year. I absolutely love that. So like I said, you've got this fire, this energy, but something you might not know. And how many of you guys went to your first summit? Was this your first summit you went to? Anyone? No? Okay, so you guys have been around a little while. So you guys know that the energy of summit doesn't stick around, right? You're on that high for a month or so, but then we have to generate that energy, that fire from within. So take a look at that goal that you typed in and wrote down in your notebook. There's a wonderful thing about that goal. There is a recipe to make it happen. And you know your basic business building activities. You know that. That's your recipe. You already know that. But something that you might miss is that the way that you go about using your ingredients in that recipe will make or break the difference of that goal. So what does that mean? You could invite 1 billion people, but if your mindset is off, you're going to repel them. You could pour hours and hours into a support group for your challengers, but if your mindset is off, they won't feel like you're truly trying to serve them. You could do the best coach basics group in the world and attend the power hours that you all should definitely attend that Dana was talking about. But if your heart's not in it the right way, it's not going to actually build your business. So what goes on in your mind, your self-talk, your mindset is by far and above the most important piece of all of it. And you've heard all that before. But instead of just knowing it, what I'm going to show you today is how to apply it, especially when you hit a point in your business or your life where you don't feel like applying it. And before I get into that, I want to share with you a couple quick stories. And after those stories, I'm going to show you how to take any limiting beliefs that you have and negative self-talk and actually turn that into an amazing tool for success and happiness in your life and your business. Rachel, I love it. Diamond by September 1st. That's great. So, story. Growing up, I had an emotional roller coaster of a childhood, and it gave me some pretty limiting beliefs about how life is. And it completely screwed with my success and my belief in my own abilities. And I'm curious, how many of you guys, raise your hand, can relate to the topic of money stress? Like ever in your life? I'm assuming most of us will be raising our hand right there, okay? So see how you see yourself in this story. I remember growing up, my parents would fight about money almost every single day. It was always a limitation, some form of we can't afford it, or some form of you spent how much on what? Or I remember seeing these screaming matches between my parents, and I never quite understood why. And I remember one time, I was probably like 10 years old, and it was a particularly bad fight between my parents that they were having about the bank account being overdrawn. And there were swear words being thrown around from both sides. And I said, like, why are you guys always fighting about stupid money? And right then, my mom told me to shut the F up and go to my room. And my dad came over with a bottle of hand soap, like a soap dispenser, and started pouring it down my mom's neck. And that memory is so vivid. My little brother and I are crying. We don't know what to do. We don't know if we should be mad at mom for, saying mean things, or mad at dad for taking the argument to another level. And that memory was engraved so deeply into my head for the rest of my life. I just hated money, because whenever it came up, it felt like someone was about to get punched in the face. And that never happened. But all the stress around it made me genuinely hate and fear money. And if you pair that with weekly overdrafts in the bank accounts, the day-to-day fights with my parents, never having a peaceful Christmas or birthday, always saying no to vacations because of money, and seeing my parents struggle every single day and eventually get divorced because of the stress around it, I believe that money was bad. I believe that it made you a horrible person, right? And I believe that it tore relationships apart. And money is the reason why it took me 6 years to propose to Janice. I was afraid that if we got married and had money, it would rip us apart. And I say all that for a reason that I'll get to in just a couple minutes. But on top of the money, I had an incredibly turbulent relationship with my mom. Now, I want to preface this by saying that I absolutely love my mom. She's a very good person. We get along great now. I've forgiven her for all the pain in the past. But getting to that point took some time, because I was really, really angry, and I was really, really sad. And I didn't realize it at the time that my mom was loving me as much as she possibly knew how, in the only way she knew how at the time, which was needing complete control. And I just have this memory drilled into like my brain like it was yesterday. I'd be laughing and joking on the bus coming home from school, and my stop would come, and I could see my house coming a couple blocks away, and I'd start to get all nervous and uncomfortable. I'd start to sweat a little bit, and the bus driver would pull up, and I'd take my blue backpack. I'd walk down the stairs across the grass to the garage door. I'd type in the keypad, the code, and I'd walk into the garage and instantly get hit with this smell of smoke, cigarette smoke. And I walked into the door, and I'd see as I turned left, there's a laundry room, and on the right, I'd see my mom on her computer, and then she'd be on her computer playing the game Bejeweled. I'm not sure if you guys know what that game is. It's like a computer game. She had a cigarette in her left hand and her hand on the mouse in the other hand. I just remember smoke coming out of that cigarette. And it was so weird, because sometimes I would never even get a hello. Other times I was greeted with a hug and a smile. Other times I would get sent to my room and not know why. Other times I'd get screamed at, and I was so confused. And I remember thinking to myself, why doesn't my mom always love me? And obviously she did. I just didn't see consistency in her behavior. But as a kid, you don't know what to think. And that's just one example. But I grew up craving her love and not quite feeling like I was enough. I never felt worthy. I never felt like I deserved someone loving me for myself. And that screwed with how I lived my life. I'd be like a chameleon. I'd change who I was depending on the peer group that I was in, just to feel accepted. And I always wanted to be the center of attention and up on stage, because it helped me feel loved and accepted when smiling eyes were actually on me. And I never felt like I was enough. And you might have a different story, a different past, a different childhood, but where can you relate to that? Or what stories from your past left an imprint on your abilities or the character of who you are? What limiting belief or beliefs do you have now because it's something that happened years ago that you haven't forgiven or forgotten yet? Because everyone's got something, right? Nod your head if you have something, whatever it is, some form of a limiting belief that you went through. Well, when we're little, we're really impressionable. And it's in those times that our beliefs, our limiting beliefs about ourselves and our abilities start to take shape. So when I started my business 5 years ago, it didn't matter how many people I invited. It didn't matter how many social media posts I put up. It didn't matter how many team calls I signed up for speaking on. It was always the same. My bank account was always overdrafting. My paychecks were a few $100 a week. You know, I was always just skating by, and I was always seeing that red font show up on chase.com showing me I was overdrafted by 49 cents, right? And I measured my worth by the number of successful people that knew my name. I became friends with a woman named Autumn Calabrese. I'm sure you guys know who that is. And because I thought that I was friends with someone successful, it made me feel a touch of worthiness. I finally felt like I was enough. And I remember 3 or 4 years ago when this incredible woman named Lindsay Matway, you guys probably know who that is, I got her to be the guest speaker on my team call. And I felt this touch of worthiness just because she said yes. And I felt like because this person, with all this incredible success, knew who I was and cared about me, I finally mattered. And we all do stuff like that sometimes. We just want to be noticed. My clients and my friends ask me all the time why I decided to start a mindset coaching business. And sure, I wanted financial freedom. I wanted that success. I wanted that lifestyle of being my own boss. Similar reasons to why you guys started a Beachbody business. You want to create that life by design. But the real reason I started that business is because I finally wanted to feel unconditional love for myself. I wanted to feel worthy. I wanted to finally stop changing who I was in the peer group I was in, and to finally be nice to myself. And my business was a tool in doing that. So why the hell do I tell you all of that? Because when I tried to build a business, the overwhelming amount of negative self-talk from those memories stopped me in my tracks. So chances are that you have some memory, something going on in your life that you're forming these negative beliefs around that are stopping you no matter how much activity you put behind it, there's inner conflict. And I found a way to overcome it. And if you want to change your business and your life like I did, like Dana did, there are a few things that you can do that I'm going to talk to you guys about on this call. These things are some of the things that I did to completely change the course of my life. And the first is to rewire the supercomputer of your mind. What the hell does that mean? Rewire the supercomputer of your mind. Well, we start to tell ourselves these stories, right? Let's use my example. Money is bad, or eating healthy is hard, or I can't find a loving partner, or my kid is an idiot, or I'm not enough. And if you say it enough times, you start to believe it, right? Have you ever told a story so many times when you go to parties over the years that the details of your story like aren't even real anymore, but you said it so much that that's just how the story goes now, but you believe it to be true and it just flows out of you? The same thing happens with negative self-talk, only instead of it being a fun party topic, it sabotages your life. So let's call these disempowering beliefs your default software. And you can go through life believing the negative self-talk in your mind. And I guess a question I have for you is, have you ever been sitting there on the couch just wondering why you're being so mean to yourself? Like you don't know how to fix it. You have all these action items you want to take care of, but you can't quite seem to do it, or you're procrastinating. So I'm going to show you how to break through that right now. The first thing you need to know is that you're not broken and nobody needs to fix you as a person. We just need to rewire how this thing works. We have to believe that we're enough. We have to believe that we're important. We have to believe that we can make an impact. And you can do that by changing the questions you ask yourself. Better questions, write this down. Better questions annihilate negative self-talk. Have you ever faced a point in your life where you've tried to convince yourself that you're good enough or that you deserve something great, but you never actually fully believe it, right? Like you want to believe it so bad, but there's like this little devil on your shoulder that laughs at you, right? Or you can make this vision board, right? And you paint this picture of this grand life. And when you're writing that really big millionaire goal, whatever it is, on that vision board or the picture of the massive house, there's that little part of you that kind of laughs a little bit and kind of says, that won't ever be possible. Not all of you, but just that little bit of you, right? You can barely hear him, but he's just whispering like insignificance and self-doubt in your subconscious mind. So tonight, we're going to change that type of thinking. So first, what is thinking? Thinking is nothing more than the process of asking yourself questions. When you're sitting on the couch and you can't get yourself to do something, it's because you're asking yourself disempowering questions. That's what thinking is. So if you focus on asking yourself bad questions, you're going to get bad answers. If you focus on great questions, you'll get great answers. The mistake I made was that I just thought I had to work harder. And yeah, you got to work your ass off. But there's a point where you're pulling 12-hour days 3 years in, wondering what's up. So when you focus on what you don't want, those are the seeds of doubt and skepticism and pain, right? Those seeds will grow in your mind like weeds if you don't protect your mind. Do you guys know who Jim Rohn is? Yeah. If you haven't listened to the audio, Building Your Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn, I highly recommend that audio. He said, stand guard at the gates of your mind. And it's Building Your Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn. He said, stand guard at the gates of your mind or weeds will grow automatically. So ask yourself this right now. Just close your eyes for a second. Everyone on here, close your eyes, unless you're like driving a car or something. And ask yourself with your eyes closed, just say to yourself, why am I not enough? Just ask yourself that right now. Say, why am I not enough in your own mind? And listen to the answers that start pouring out of you. How motivated, you guys can open your eyes, how motivated do you feel when you focus on that? When you focus on how you're not enough, you don't feel motivated at all, right? And even when you read happy, motivational, personal growth books, right, you still have that voice that says, bullshit, dude, you're not enough. Everybody on this call has limiting beliefs. We all do. And if you don't think you have limiting beliefs, that in itself is a limiting belief. Okay? So I shared mine a couple of minutes ago about where my biggest limiting beliefs came from. I'm curious what yours are. Write them down in your notebook. You don't have to share them in the chat box, but write down what your gut feeling is about what your biggest limiting belief is. Write that down in your notebook. And we're going to show you how to rewire that belief a little bit tonight. So have you ever had thoughts like, why don't I have enough money? Or why isn't it easier? Or why am I so lonely? Or why do I always mess it up? Or why am I so fat? Or why is it so hard to lose weight? Or why am I so broke? Or why can't I catch a break? Or why does my upline have it so much easier than me? Or why can't I do anything right? Or why am I unhappy? Have you ever said anything like that to yourself? And how many of you guys do something like that regularly? Don't lie. If you lie about that, you lie about other shit too, right? You guys, so raise your hands, right? So do you ever say stuff like that? Seriously, like if you're an asshole to yourself like that, it doesn't feel very good on a regular basis. I bet it leads to a lot of pain, a lot of procrastination, and you're sitting there looking at your business and your life frustrated with the results you're getting. And even getting back from Summit, no matter how much someone tells you that you can have success with your business, no matter how many people say that they believe in you, no matter how many times you see other people like you achieving big things, unless we rewire your mind, there's going to be that little voice that says, no, you can't. You know what I'm talking about, or am I crazy, right? So when you set a big goal, like you typed in that chat box, your dominant beliefs will determine if that goal will come true. And setting goals, guys, is nothing more than trying to create a new reality as opposed to your current reality. That's what goal setting is. It's trying to create a new reality as opposed to your current reality. And you're trying to get from point A to point B. The gap between those two places is called belief. That's it. And until you actually believe that you can do it, it's going to be really freaking hard to create that reality. Have you ever felt like it would be life-changing to achieve a goal, but you don't think that goal would be possible? You can change that with better questions. Your entire life can be changed. Your relationships, everything can be changed by asking yourself intentional, empowering questions. So when you ask yourself a question, just like you tested out with your eyes closed a second ago, your brain automatically searches for the answer whether you like it or not. So ask yourself this. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, why can I never save money? Just even if you have money, ask yourself that. Why can I never save money? All right? What did your brain do? You notice your brain was actually looking for why it's hard to save money. And even if you're wealthy and you're on this call right now, you still look for an answer. And just like Google, it spits out all the reasons why you're broke or why you deserve to be broke. Like, what about your limiting belief? That limiting belief you wrote in your notebook. I'll use mine. Why won't I ever be enough to achieve success? Close your eyes and ask yourself that right now. Why won't I ever be enough to achieve success? Did you notice your brain was actually looking for an answer? Even if it was just a little bit, it was actually looking for an answer. Even if you're incredibly successful, you start to question yourself. That's how insidious and slow moving and how it sneaks into your brain, how negative self-talk sneaks in. So what if you intentionally reverse the question? What I mean by that, if your responses are just like a Google search engine, that means that whatever you type in, you're gonna get an answer, right? So change the question of what you type into your mental Google. Your brain is looking for an answer to whatever the heck you ask it, subconsciously or consciously, 100% of the time. So you might as well ask it an intelligent question that leads to a better life. So if you're wired for unhappiness and stress and anxiety, that means one thing. It means lately you've been asking yourself disempowering questions. That's all it means, right? So asking, why is it so hard to build my business? Your brain finds all the reasons why it's hard to build your business. That's what you focus on. So you never find the answer to your biggest challenges that gets you to diamond, 2-star, whatever it is. When you sit down to work, your brain is literally looking for every reason why you're not capable instead of why you should. So you don't send the invites, you scroll Facebook. You don't support your clients, you wonder why more aren't coming to you. And here's what's crazy. There are amazing people and opportunities that stumble across your life all the freaking time to help you learn and grow. But if your software up here is running on the question of why is it so hard? or I can't do this. Why can't I do this? Self-sabotage steps in, and you won't even notice the people in your life that are sitting right in front of you, or the opportunities in your life that are sitting right in front of you. And if you're not where you want to be, you're literally getting what you're asking for because you're asking bad questions. You guys see the power in this? So we're going to change it up. Close your eyes and ask yourself, why is it so easy to change 1,000 lives? Close your eyes and ask yourself that right now. Why is it so easy to change 1,000 lives? What happens? You still look for the answer. And even if you're brand new to coaching, you find all the reasons why you can do this. So try this one. Why is it so easy to rank advance this week? Or why is it so easy to be a 10-star team this year? Right? Ask yourself that. You still look for the answer. And you start to focus on the opportunities, the people that you could reach out to, the sacrifices you can make to build your business. Can you imagine if you filled and flooded your mind with this every single day? Right? Here's the key. You don't need to have the answer to the question that you ask. You just need to live in the question that leads you to the life that you want. Because when you're in the right state of mind and you know what you want and the direction you want to go, the how is going to reveal itself. Always remember that. You don't need to know how. The how will reveal itself. You need to know why. You need to find the question that leads you to the life that you want. Write this down. Every problem you face is simply a question that hasn't been answered yet, and you control your questions. Every problem you face is simply a question that hasn't been answered yet, and you control your questions. So for your life and your business, coming out of this call later, I want you to write down, just take a second after this call, sit down, do this homework, and write down all the disempowering questions that you ask yourself on a regular basis. Why am I so fat? Why is it so hard to stick with the 2B Mindset nutrition plan? Why can't I stick with a workout program? Why can't I do personal development all the time? Why is it so hard to invite coaches to my business? Whatever it is, write down all your questions, even for your personal relationships too, right? Why is it so hard to not fight with my husband? Whatever it is, write down every question for your life that's disempowering. And I want you to flip them on its head. What I mean by that is put an empowering start to the question on it. So turn those questions into, why is it so easy to blank? Why am I so wealthy? Why is my business booming? Why is it so easy to lead my team? Why am I such a great leader? The two questions that completely changed my life are, why am I so kind to myself? And why am I worthy of living an amazing life? It is amazing how much easier life gets when you're just 1% nicer to yourself. You can write that one down too. It's amazing how much easier life gets when you're just 1% nicer to yourself. So what I want you guys to do is to take all of those new empowering questions, put them on Post-it notes all over your house. If you struggle with healthy eating, what if you put, why is it so easy to be healthy, in your fridge? So instead of the Nutella, you grab the spinach, right? Or why is it so easy to be such a great spouse? What if you put that on your car dashboard and it's the last thing you read before you walked in the door? Could you imagine how your life would change? We need to reprogram your mind. So instead of just doing the Post-it notes, maybe you record all these questions and you put it in your ears while you sleep overnight and you reprogram your mind. Flood it with the right questions that lead you to the life you want. That's one of the steps that I took to rewire my negative self-talk. Your life will change if you do this. I promise you. I found my calling from doing this. You are planting new thought seeds and you're watering them daily. Follow this metaphor. And all of a sudden, you stopped watering all the disempowering plants, so to speak, and you let those weeds die in your garden, right? Now the only plants you water are the flowers. And within less time than you think, your garden is just absolutely gorgeous and it's blooming with so many colors and plants, and it's giving your life oxygen again. Remember that you need to stand guard at the gates of your mind or weeds will grow automatically, like Jim Rohn said, right? This is how you do that, because in your life, guys, you're going to experience hard times. Pain is guaranteed. It's coming. Pain is going to happen, but suffering from that pain is your choice. And you can make that suffering optional by asking yourself more empowering questions about what that pain means. It's up to you. So I want to give you a couple more master tools in really figuring this mindset thing out and eliminating negative self-talk. The first tool is so simple, and it's what I give all my clients, and it changes how they feel in a second. It's a 2-minute trick that eliminates pain. I call it the secret sauce, but you might know it as genuine gratitude. you might know it as genuine gratitude, right? And I don't mean the bullshit, yay, I'm glad I have a roof over my head. Gratitude is a skill that can be learned. I thought it was a crock of shit for so long, but it's real and it changed my life, and I'm gonna share with you and prove to you how in just a second. So try to feel totally defeated and smile really big at the same time in the mirror. It is impossible. And the reason for that is because gratitude beats fear. It crushes fear out of the water, right? It's impossible to feel pain when you're deeply grateful. Write that down. It's impossible to feel pain when you're grateful. Because in your life, like I said, you're going to experience pain. Pain's guaranteed. Suffering from that pain is your choice. So I don't mean that gratitude like just saying, yay, I'm glad I have food in my fridge. I mean feeling real gratitude. Gratitude attracts people to you. So if you're ever having trouble with your coaching invites or your other business building activities, whatever it is, and you're doing every single thing right, you're posting on social media the right way, Dana or Annalisa is looking at your stuff saying, this is great, this is awesome, awesome work, your business activity trackers are going well, whatever it is, and it's still not working, this might be your missing link, because this attracts people to you. It changes your energy level. People want to be part of your life. Opportunities, things, situations, solutions flood to you faster when you are genuinely grateful for the life that you already have. You attract the most amazing things to your life when you already appreciate the life that you currently live. The issue is that most of us don't take time to realize how freaking lucky we are. Like, think about this. You are watching a video from all over the country or Canada or the UK. Anywhere in the world you could be watching this video right now. You're probably on a couch or sitting at a desk in a safe house. You probably have a blanket over your lap right now, right? You're probably, just wondering what you're going to have for date night on Friday. You're probably going to drive your car to work tomorrow, pull into that parking spot of the company where you make good money and you have benefits for your family. You might take your kid to get medical care tomorrow. You might take your miniature cockapoo to the vet to get treated for hot spots on his fluffy little arm, right? You'll probably turn on your Apple TV tonight and flip through a Friends episode after you get off the call, right? And all of that, most of us take for granted. When there's a mother out there who just watched her baby starve to death today, right? When there are people out there injecting themselves with needles to cope with pain. When there are countries that still live with communism, right? We're so accustomed to the miracles happening around us every single day that we don't even see them as miracles anymore. For most of us, we view miracles as scarce. But we don't appreciate how literally everything around you right now, the pen that you are literally writing that quote down with right now, was once an idea. It was an idea, right? The computer or phone you're watching this on was once an idea. It's incredible, and it proves that you can create miracles at any second, just like Dana did, right? You can do that too. You just need to rewire your mind. So we have a tendency to let go of that gratitude. The first way to do it is to have some perspective about how great things really are. Your worst day is a hell of a lot better than most people's best day, right? If you are in the bottom 1% of this country, you're in the top 1% of the world. Think about that for a second. We have a tendency to let go of gratitude and make it a rule that we can only feel gratitude if something happens. And that's setting yourself up for suffering. Nothing has to happen for you to feel good. You can just feel good because you want to feel good, right? And as long as you structure your life in a way where your happiness is dependent upon a goal or an outcome or a rank or success club or something that you can't control, then you'll never truly be fulfilled in the way that you deserve. Even if you have a ton of success, you could be truly winning at life, but feel like you're losing because your scorecard is unfair, right? It only allows you to feel happy if something happens. And achievement without gratitude is total failure. Write that down. Achievement without gratitude is total failure. Remember, it's impossible to feel pain when you're grateful. Like I said, if you live in the US or Canada or UK and you're in the bottom 1% of those countries, you are in the top 1% of the world. You're breathing, you're alive. That should be enough to smile about. And if you're smiling, you're going to be more resourceful in your business. If you're smiling, you're going to attract the leaders to your business, not the people that need your help and want you to solve their problems. If you're smiling, holding on to money becomes easier. If you're smiling, life just gets easier. If you're smiling, your relationship with your spouse gets better. Everything gets easier when you are grateful all the time. Life without gratitude is misery. And if you love life, nothing's worth being grateful for. We stress so much about things that we should be thankful for. The challenge you face in your business right now, what if you chose to ask yourself an empowering question about why it's the biggest gift you've received? What if you chose to ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience to change the course of my family's life forever? When you're grateful for the pain and the struggle, you open up the gateway to a great life. When you are grateful for your pain and your struggle, you open up the gateway to a great life. And lots of you have these high expectations, right? Of your spouse, your kids, your team, your sales, whatever it is, the way that one of your coaching or challenge groups should go. And when your life conditions that you're currently experiencing don't align with that, you're going to get frustrated. Like almost you might have these expectations or rules about what needs to happen in order to be successful. And I challenge you to let that go. Just like Tony Robbins says, trade your expectations for appreciations and your life changes instantly. It's incredible, right? So I have a challenge for you. Every morning before your feet hit the floor, I challenge you to do a gratitude exercise. I do the 5-minute journal. I do priming by Tony Robbins. I do all this stuff, right? 10 minutes, whatever it is, like journaling, a video, a guided meditation, just straight up appreciation. Because your view of life literally determines your future. So every single day, if you condition your mind to focus on being grateful, slowly the anxiety, the overwhelm, the depression, the fear that gets in the way of your business, the negative self-talk, it's going to go away and you're going to notice that you're excited about every day. I went through a period of time where I knew what I wanted so bad. I told Dana about this so many times, where I would find myself on the couch, like watching TV, having these bad days, like 4 days a week. And it was terrible. I was like depressed, and even worse, I was pissed off that I was depressed, right? I was immobilized. I knew exactly what I needed to do. It was like my computer was freaking staring at me from across the room saying, hey buddy, when are you gonna come over here and send those invites, right? It was staring at me, but I just didn't care. But at the same time, I cared so much and it hurt. And from practicing genuine, real gratitude, those periods of overwhelm, those periods of anxiety, fear, whatever it was, negative emotions, they started to happen 2 times a week instead of 4 times a week. Then it was once a month. Then it was once every couple months. Then it just kept getting later and later. And now it's natural for me to be happy. Now my default setting is happiness. And that came from practicing gratitude when I didn't feel like it. And now there are still days every once in a blue moon where I'll get like, the woe is me mindset and depressed. Everyone has those days, right? That makes you human. That's part of the human experience, but I can get out of it in 2 minutes. And I'm going to show you how in just a second. In fact, I learned from my biggest mentor of all time, Tony Robbins, that with every situation, you can solve it and you can either solve the issue or lead yourself towards the answer that will solve the issue in 2 minutes using gratitude. So let me show you what I learned from him. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. And think of a problem in your business or life, anything at all, that stresses you out on a scale of 1 to 10. And really keep your eyes closed for this entire process or you won't feel the power of it. Okay? I'll tell you when to open. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst stress ever, something that stresses you out 7 or higher. It can be your job, it can be your business, it can be your relationship, whatever it is, any problem. Keep your eyes closed. And now put your hands physically on your heart. Like actually do this. I know you don't know me, I'm weird, whatever. Just trust me, this will work. Close your eyes and put your hands on your heart. And take a deep breath and actually imagine that breath going into your heart right now. Like picture it. Take another one, big deep breath in your nose and picture that breath coming into your heart and feel the power of it. Like feel it actually beat. Your heart beats 100,000 times a day without you having to work for it. As long as that thing beats, you're alive. It's a gift. You didn't have to work for it. The universe, God, whatever you believe in, thought enough of you to give you this gift of life the second that you were born. And just feel so grateful that you're even breathing for a second. Keep your eyes closed. And with your eyes closed and your hands in your heart, go back to a memory from your past. It can be any stage, any time in your life. It can be when you had your first kid. It can be when you got married, whatever it is for you. Any moment that you can feel deeply grateful for. But instead of seeing that moment as a memory, step back into that moment like you're there. And relive the exact same thing again. Relive that memory. Breathe the exact same way you did then. Just re-feel the emotions that you felt then. And relive that experience for a second and just feel so grateful for that memory. Just feel that gratitude. Keep your eyes closed. Feel that gratitude. And breathe it into your heart while you're doing it. And now picture a second memory. Any other memory, it could be today, it could be something small like the wind blowing, whatever it is. Picture a second memory that you can be grateful for. And like I said, instead of picturing the memory, go back into it, relive it. For me, it's my wedding day. It's the first time I saw her in that dress. What's it for you? Picture that person, that situation, that thing, whatever it is, and breathe that into your heart, relive it again, and breathe the same way you did then. Feel the same feelings you felt then. And just feel so grateful for that memory. And keep your eyes closed. And think of a coincidence now. What's a coincidence in your life? A random girl messaged you on Facebook to join a challenge group and it led you to the business of your dreams, right? What's a coincidence in your life that you can feel so grateful for? You were in line at Starbucks and you met the love of your life. You were in the basement at a friend's house playing Guitar Hero and your future wife just happened to be there. That's what happened for me. Keep your eyes closed and picture that coincidence. Maybe last minute you switched colleges and met your best friend. What's a coincidence in your life that you can feel so grateful for? What did it lead to? Did it lead to your kids? Did it lead to a business? Did it lead to another opportunity? What is it for you? And breathe that feeling of gratitude into your heart while you're picturing that coincidence. And just appreciate it. All these experiences stacked on top of each other in your heart right now. Breathe into your heart and feel gratitude for this amazing gift you call life. And when you're there and you feel that gratitude with your eyes remaining closed and your hands in your heart, breathing deep into your heart, think of a stressful moment that you thought about earlier, that same stressful moment, and repeat these words to yourself. In this situation, all I have to do is blank. In this situation, all I need to see, or all I need to say is blank. In this situation, all I need to become is blank. Because when you live in gratitude, your heart already knows the answer to your most challenging problems. You just solved or guided yourself towards the answer to your stressor in 2 minutes. That is the power of genuine gratitude. That's how much it can help your business and life build to the size of your dreams. That's how you can feel genuine happiness and eliminate negative self-talk in a second. You can open your eyes. But that's what you're after, right? Like, how many of you guys at least had direction on your stressful thing? If you really took that exercise seriously, how many of you had direction on your stressful situation in 2 minutes? Your heart knows the answer, right? And it probably made you feel a little bit happier right now too, right? Do you feel a little bit uplifted from what you were 2 minutes ago, even though if you're already uplifted? Happiness is what you're really after, right? You just want to feel genuine happiness, and that's a choice you have every day. Your business doesn't cause your happiness. Your business is a vehicle bringing you toward a better life, and it's an amazing vehicle, but your better life can be lived right now. Guys, we have one shot at life. Like, real talk, we have one shot. Most people go through life trying to stay safe, never really going for it, never inviting that scary coach, never posting on Facebook, never asking that person on a date. Whatever it is, you are not that person. Right? Most people live with those limiting beliefs in their mind and they never change them. Life could change at any second. You have one chance in this world and you're not going to have all the answers to your questions before you go for it. And if you wait for the answers, you're going to be waiting forever. But your clock on life is ticking. And at any moment, that clock could run out. You don't control the length of your life, but you do control its depth and its meaning. You weren't put here to experience mediocrity or suffering. You were put here to feel fully alive every second of every day. So you have to take your pain and make it mean something amazing. Without let's go full circle back to the beginning of the call, without the screaming matches I witnessed almost every day as a child, I wouldn't be nearly as loving of a spouse to her, right? Without the horrible imprint of money in my life, I wouldn't have learned how to have an abundant mindset and attract money and people and opportunities into my life the way that I have. Without the constant feeling of mediocrity over the years that I felt probably almost every single day, and the depressing episodes sitting on the couch feeling sorry for myself, I wouldn't have created this hunger, this drive, this passion for creating something amazing that changes people's lives. Without being so confused by my mom's only known way of showing love, the best way she knew how at the time, I wouldn't have craved acceptance. I wouldn't have ever learned how to be a speaker. I wouldn't have followed my passion. I wouldn't be able to coach people in their lives. I wouldn't be living my passion, right? I wouldn't have learned how to forgive. I wouldn't have a loving relationship. The loving relationship that I have with my mom. Think about this. Like, actually picture this for a second. If your life and your past, if your past was exactly as you wanted it to be, if your life never went through those painful points, if the people in your life were the perfect version you haven't forgiven them for not becoming, you wouldn't be the gift of a person you are today. You wouldn't be able to make the impact that you're making today. You went through all of those experiences for a reason. They're crafting you, they're molding you, they're sculpting you. The most painful parts of your past are sculpting you into the person that you're meant to become. Those memories, those people, that one person was exactly who you needed him, her, mom, dad, whoever to be. They played the exact role they were meant to play in your life. What they did might not have been easy. It might have hurt, but it wasn't wrong. It was exactly what it needed to be to create you. So be grateful that you went through it. You wouldn't be the person you're proud to be today without it. So as we close here, I want you to imagine that you're 85 years old. Just for a second, play with me on this. That you're 85 years old, looking back at your life. You're sitting on the front porch, you're drinking some sweet tea with your husband or wife, probably a cane next to you, right? Dana's gonna have a cane. And you see your grandkids riding by on their bikes, right? Just starting their journey. What do you want to feel as you close that final chapter of your life? Do you want to regret never fully going for it? Or do you want to smile and be so grateful for the life that you live? Really picture this. And if you get emotional with this piece, like, let it happen. There's no guarantees that you're going to be 85 years old to experience that. You could die at any second, tomorrow. So really think about it. If this was your last night on earth, what would you think about the way that you lived up until now? Death is one of the greatest teachers in life. I'm not trying to be morbid, just being real. It's one of the greatest teachers in life. And imagine just for a second that death were a person. And he came to you tonight and said, it's time to go. And you said, no, I want another week just so I can really enjoy it and soak this up and experience genuine fulfillment with my kids and whatever, right? Death would laugh at you and say, no, dude, I gave you 25, 35, 45 years to enjoy your life. You chose not to, so it's time. So if you're in that spot on your front porch, watching your grandkids on their bikes, picture yourself. If you continue living, building your business, being the same person that you are now, are you genuinely happy in that moment? And if the answer is yes, amazing. If the answer is no, we have some work to do with those questions. If you continue living the same way, are you genuinely happy? Are you smiling? Are you living your authentic truth? Or are you wishing that you could start back where they are and do it again because you never really went for it? Because you always held back, because you had negative self-talk controlling you, because you said no to playing all out on this gift of life. And I can't fast forward to that moment and guarantee that it's going to end up wonderful the way that you currently want it. But you need to remember that the clock on life is ticking and you never know when it's going to run out. So when is now a good time to live with genuine happiness and gratitude? You weren't put here to suffer. You weren't put on this earth to be dominated by negative self-talk. So if this were your last night and you weren't going to wake up tomorrow, would you worry about the grudges or complaints? Would you worry about the bank account? Would you worry about what a friend said about you? Would you worry about your rank? Would you worry about little stuff like the way you got in a fight about the way the dishwasher was loaded? Would you worry about why your business isn't where you want it to be? Would you worry about hitting your monthly benchmarks? Would it be fair to you to cause all that stress? Would it be fair to limit your abilities and beliefs because of insignificant things like that? Not one bit, right? So why not live every single week like you would that last week? How would your interaction be different with the people in your life if this was your last week? How would you love your family? How would you hold your son, right? How would you hold your husband or wife? How would you look at your new baby? How would you play with your dog? How would you treat your business partners, right? How would you respond to the word no? How would you make your interactions mean something, right? How would you make every single memory last a couple of heartbeats longer instead of being so rushed all the damn time, right? What if you took a moment every day to feel the imprint of your kid's head on your chest instead of rushing around? Just one extra heartbeat. What if you could still feel your husband or wife's hands wrapped around you as you left for work? What if you learned to make a memory out of every single moment in your life? What memories would you leave with those around you? What words of wisdom would you share with your son or daughter? What would you say to your parents? Would you forgive that person that hurt you? Would you tell the closest people in your life that you love them? How would you make your wife feel? How would you make your husband feel? What would you say to him? What last phone calls would you make? How would you leave your legacy and your smile here when you left? So don't fear that situation, because the end of your life is simply just for some perspective on this call, but it's coming at some point. And the only reason you fear it is because you crave life. And life is a choice that you have literally every second of every day. It's how you answer those questions we talked about. That's life. So why not live every single week like you would that last week? Why not play all out in your business and this thing called life? Who would you uplift? What soul could you touch? How would you change the way you share on social media? Something that small. What legacy could you leave? What words would you make sure someone remembers? What would you say to her, right? What if you could play all out in everything that you do? Imagine how your life would be so different if you lived every single day that way. You are exactly where you need to be to learn the lessons that you need to learn to create the life that you were meant to live. When you see it that way and you're grateful for the lesson, the painful experiences, amazing things will start to happen. Imagine the legacy of passion and love and happiness that you could leave in the world. And you learned the start of how to create that tonight. So remember, this gift of life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. So thank you guys so much for the opportunity to be here and speak with you guys tonight. If you found this valuable, there's plenty of other free resources on my website, bradbizjack.com, but I just hope you guys got a lot out of this, and I hope you guys have an amazing night. Dana, I can take questions. I'll turn it back over to you, my friend.
Oh my God. Moved. Very moved. Does anybody have questions for Brad? Do you have something you'd like to share that was impactful for you? If you want to type it in the comments, I'm sure he likes feedback.
I want to say thank you. That was, we talked about as a team coming off of Summit was to not lose the fire. And it's these types of calls that sustain that. And you said about, everyone at Summit could tell you that you're amazing and that you can do it, but actually believing it yourself is a totally different thing. And that struck me because I feel like that's so many people on our team, including myself, where, I feel that I'm strong at what I do, but I don't feel like I'm where I potentially could be. And just having that belief in myself you have to take it to a whole nother level. So thank you.
I just have to say, I don't know if I'm coming across, but I just have to say, all in all, I'm like a happy, positive person. But sometimes I doubt what I can actually do. And listening to your call tonight really kind of put into perspective. It's not something that there's a rush. I mean, it's like, I just want to come across, and the thing that you said about leaving a legacy, that kind of hit home. So I'm just going to focus more on that and not put a time limit on it, as to say. But and I'm probably like just rambling, but yes, a lot of stuff did hit home, and I really am happy that I got in on this call. And Mary Page, husband, just came in to say goodnight. That's all that was going on there.
Anybody else?
I would have to chime in and just say self-doubt can certainly creep in a lot for me, and definitely, like Tracy said, putting all of this into perspective. I was actually just having a conversation with a potential, challenger, basically, who suffers from anxiety, and I can relate completely just because of the anxiety. And the whole death conversation that you really just put in perspective was kind of eye-opening, because that's exactly how I feel. What if something happens tomorrow? Would I feel satisfied? Do I feel like everything has have I lived my life to what I feel like it should be? And so that was very eye-opening. So thank you for sharing that.
You guys are making me blush.
I'm going to say this for my brand new coach who was on the call and she was too nervous to turn her video on. But she said that she was crying. She had already signed off, so I'm not embarrassing her in person because she's very nervous about starting to coach. But she said that she was crying at the end when you told us to put our hands on our hearts. So I wanted to share that from her, and she'll be embarrassed tomorrow when I post this on our team page.
I just have to say, I absolutely love the thought of asking yourself better questions to get better responses. Because I think when you get in that kind of like negative thought loop, that you continue on the same cycle of the same answer of like, why can't I do that? Or why do I feel tired right now? Or why, whatever. And then the negative thought pattern, and then you just circle in that. And I think that asking a different question is a really simple way to change the thought pattern that you're having so that you can take a different action. So I love that. And of course, the end just gave me all the feels. So does anybody else have anything that they'd like to share?
Hey guys,
I have to say one more thing. When he said everything around you is a miracle. So I take that to heart really right now too. So an achievement without gratitude is total failure. So I am looking around everything around me right now and appreciating it. Hey, Ashley. So yeah, I'm very grateful for a lot of stuff right now, especially after this last week. So.
yeah, and I really liked I have a top on now, so I'm live. But my husband is really big into if it's not written down, it's not real. And for years, I just told him he was crazy and to leave me alone, kind of thing. But I like that you reminded and gave us the idea about the sticky notes and putting them around your house. With a newborn at home, and I work nights 4 out of the 7 days a week, we don't see each other. We're kind of like ships in the night. So I kind of think that this would be a fun challenge if you do live with someone to put those Post-its up, like my sugar cravings are insane because of pregnancy and breastfeeding. So I'm going to put eating healthy is easy and put it on the fridge. And you can almost do it for each other. Like if they have like a bad habit they're trying to break, post those sticky notes all over your house. I love that idea. So a really positive spin on that. I like it.
And you could even leave them like love notes too.
Mm-hmm.
Look on the mirror.
I do on the toilet paper with my eyeliner.
Love it.
Love you.
Anybody else?
I just have a quick question for you, Brad. You mentioned something about share the gratitude, basically like your gratitude that you slept, like you listened to while you slept. Is that something you actually did? Like, can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah. So if you have a hard time sleeping, maybe this won't work for you. I don't know, but I have an easy time sleeping, falling asleep, but who knows, maybe this will distract you from what caused you to not fall asleep and maybe helps you fall asleep. I don't know. So try it. But what I did was, like with all the Post-it notes that I would write, right? With like, why is it so easy to X, or why do I find a new reason to fall in love with my wife every day, right? That was another one that I wrote down, like all these things. And before I put the Post-it notes in the places around the house, I recorded myself saying them like with emotion, not just like reading them off a piece of paper, but like with like genuine emotion of each one wanting to come true. And I recorded it and then put it on my phone. And I just put it on iTunes. I just put it on repeat and put it in my ears while I was going to bed. And I would listen to those questions for like 8 hours, like while I was sleeping. And I just noticed I was so much happier the next day. Like it might take you a couple days to get used to it and like fall asleep with someone that sounds very similar to you, because it is you, in your ear. But it really works. Like it's like a fast track to flooding your mind with empowering questions from yourself.
Brad, I wrote that in the comments earlier, that just like last week, I don't even remember what I was reading, but it said that your subconscious mind is 80% more powerful than your conscious thoughts. So like to really ingrain a new belief in your subconscious mind, like, is not just gonna happen from like thinking about something once a week.
Oh yeah, I mean that's so true. It's practicing consistency, and like your subconscious mind is the gateway to all those limiting beliefs going away. So however you can influence that thing, do it.
Meditation. All right. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for sharing. I know Brad loves hearing. And I'm sure we'd love to have you back at any point in time when we need a little bit of that fire back again.
I would love to.
We will see everybody next week. Thanks, Brad. Have a good night, guys.